Hunter Arrow says this. I'm an OG TFAK listener, so I have to be honest. I can tell you and Bryan both do not like doing the podcast anymore. Both of you look generally miserable sitting through the podcast for the last couple of years, but definitely since moving to Austin. Bryan is too mad at the world and serious now. He's not a philosopher. Brendan, he's obviously is not going to get his light back. So my question to you is, why do you still do it? And does he get annoyed listening to Bryan complain about ticket sales, but does things like have Andrew Wilson on his podcast talk about Christianity? In all honesty, as a lifelong fan, take a break for a while. And this Adam says, on the show they're chatting like brothers they are. I don't think they care much for views. They just do it because they love it, and we all who love them and support them along the time should appreciate it. Advice, if you don't like it anymore, don't watch it. Simple. That's him saying it. Mm-hmm. Go back to the question. Mm-hmm. I can tell you and Bryan don't like doing the podcast anymore. Generally miserable sitting through it. Bryan's too mad at the world and he's serious now, not a philosopher. He's not going to get his light back. God, Hunter, this is a loaded one, Bubba. How do I answer this? How would you answer this, Jen? Before I get into it, How would you answer it?
Yeah, I think there's some nuggets here.
There's some truth to it.
Yeah, there's some nuggets here.
Yeah, I think that's why it's hard for me to answer.
But it's bullshit saying like, oh, you guys are miserable doing the podcast. This is something that we always enjoy doing. It's just like sometimes we're all going through some shit.
I disagree, Jen. I think there's some truth to that too.
No, but miserable every single time you sit in here.
No, I don't think he's saying every time.
No, what I'm saying is like,
there. To be fair to this Hunter kid, there's days I come in here, I'm like,
yeah. By the way, that's life. I mean, there's days I come in here, I feel like shit. You know, like, and people can probably tell. You can tell. Like, I'll smile and stuff, and you'll come or you'll text me later, like, hey, is everything all good, dude?
Yeah.
So we have our shit going on in our lives. Like, you can't be fucking every single day. It's tough. And right now is like one of the, tougher moments because, we're transitioning to this new thing. And like, of course we have to worry about sponsorship and all this stuff. So that shit's heavy, That's my point of view on that. But it's like to say it's like, oh fuck, I got to go into work. Oh fuck this shit. It's not like that.
I think there's some truth is what he's saying.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not the same.
Yeah, I think there's some truth. I don't know what to do, Bubba. I don't know what to do. Fighter and the Kid, and I've explained this to Chan and Bryan, we hit singles every week. We hit singles. Back in the day, we hit triples and home runs. Now we're hitting singles. And I'm okay with that. And I love doing the show. And I'm loyal to a default. As far as Bryan's light, I don't know what it is. Obviously we know the shit that he's been through. But I think when the show started, me and Bryan were different people. So when people go, oh, you've changed, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm not out at night. I'm not in the comedy scene. I'm not booking guests and doing that stuff anymore. And that was my job for 10 years on the show. If you ever saw a guest, it was because I booked it. It was through me. Bryan doesn't, and not mad at him. And when Bryan's at the Comedy Mothership, the last thing on his mind is booking a guest for the Fighter and the Kid. He doesn't even think of it, and he never has. And I think with what Bryan went through, he obviously views life through a different lens. And just the dynamics of the show is different. It's different. Straight up, it's different. As far as miserable, no. If I was miserable, trust me, I don't have to do this show. I have other means. Not miserable. Some days it's tough. Some days it's very tough. I'll give you that, Bubba. Some days it's tough. And I think Bryan and Chin, I've told them this, you have to be okay with hitting singles. The days of triples and home runs, those days are gone. They will never come back. And that's okay. We're not a guest-driven show these days. Back in the day, we had a lot of guests. Even when we didn't have guests, the show would do well. Those days are done for a variety of reasons. But if we were to stop today, we've had a great fucking run.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing it, whatever, 13 years now. Think of your favorite show. Going on for 13 years, it's tough, dude. It's fucking tough. So to wrap all this up, if we decide to stop doing it today, I'm so proud of what we've done. We're one of the originators. We're OGs. We made a ton of fucking money. We've inspired and had fun and made a lot of people laugh. You've been with us on our highs and our lows, and it's all good. By every stretch of imagination, this show's a major success. We did it, dude. Mm-hmm. We did some great things. I don't know what the future holds. I do not know, and that's okay. I think the conversation for Bryan would be, why are you still doing it? And if it's just for money, then we should have a talk.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah, great question, though, dude. That got heavy.
Yeah. I mean, he did definitely have some stuff.
But it's an elephant in the room. But Bryan's had some stuff. People go through stuff. You've got to move on. Otherwise, they won already. If it's going to affect you every day, and now it's become this dark cloud on us too, buddy, then we got to stop doing the show.
By the way, it's not just Bryan, though. But people on the show have been through stuff. It's not just Bryan. There's been other things that have happened here as well. So,
and we get over it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I appreciate the way you look at this stuff. We have to. We said this before on this Patreons, but we have to. We tell Bryan all the time, like, let go. Like, that shit was then. Nothing crazy. Like, no one's thinking about you that way every single day. We tell him all the time. It just has to. So it's up to Bryan to change that part of the way he thinks.
It's
and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Bryan.
No, I do know. He's 60.
Here's the thing.
Like, the people saying, oh, that he's 60.
No.
He's
and
60.
by the way, when we talk about this stuff, yes, you had to tell me certain things, and I'm like, no. And then finally, after years and years of being here, I'm like, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Hopefully, I'm just saying, hopefully, knock on wood, this particular thing will fucking somehow like dissipate a little bit. I don't know.
Shannon, it was 5 years ago, buddy.
Yeah, but that's a huge thing you went through.
5 years?
It's
I know people that get over fucking their loved ones dying faster than this. 5 years?
I'm just more positive, man. I don't know. But yeah.
I'm more realistic, but I'm also, okay. Yeah, all right, then this is what it is.
Exactly. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm good.
The accomplishments are insane.
Yeah.
I'd say that much right now.
All right, let's move on. I got about 15 more minutes.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah, did Schaub just quit the podcast and fire Bryan? What just happened there? So, during a Patreon Q&A, Schaub answered that question. He went off there, kind of got in a heated argument with Chin. Chin's just trying to save his job, but I think Schaub, look, we've seen this before, people, with the Opie and Anthony show. They hate each other. They brought on Jim Norton. These guys brought on fake Landau. But, I mean, come on. They hate each other. There's no more chemistry. And Schaub is pretty much done because he knows Callen isn't putting in any effort whatsoever. And Callen hates Schaub. It's like they're going to break up like the Opie and Anthony show did. And then, Schaub, instead of stomping on a cake, is going to go run over a homeless guy's cake in his stupid truck. And Callen's going to get into some scuffle in Times Square and scream. It sounded like that, but, this podcast is over. It's done. I mean, I get it from Schaub's perspective. Like, Schaub's an idiot, and it just, dawned on him now that, wait, Callen's only doing this for money? Duh! Yeah, stupid. Why else would he be hanging out with you? So, yeah. But, like, that just dawned on him. But, to be fair to Bappa, when they started this Patreon thing, this was his number one concern. And he said it on the podcast to Callen. He was like, dude, are we really going to do this Patreon thing? Are you really going to put forth the effort? Are you really going to try? And Callen was just yeah-ing him. And then Callen didn't do any of it. He did barely any extra stuff. His Q&As were literally 20 minutes long. He put forth no effort. He's not interested. And Schaub even said it within that whole thing. He was like, I booked all the guests for the fighter and the kid. Callen doesn't. He doesn't even think about it. But Callen does get guests. Callen gets actually kind of big names if you think about it, but only for his podcast. He doesn't care about it. So from Schaub's perspective, I get, look, this idiot, look, he followed Callen to Texas, but he was also just downgrading his life and dodging bills and problems too. But I think it's dawned on him. This podcast is dead. This dude doesn't care. He's spending more money than he's taking in. They just dropped the new lawsuit files with him. Schaub has to get permission from his father to make financial decisions. That's that lawsuit with that CEO. He's being sued now for not paying his lease. This man's world is crumbling all around him. He just wants some addies and baddies, but he's stuck watching Panther in Philadelphia play T-ball, having to pretend it's like the World Series or something. I don't know what's going on with this guy. All I know is he hates Callen. He has had enough. And he ended I mean, was that him ending the podcast? It kind of sounded to me, he was like, we need to have a talk. Like I said, here's the talk, stupid. Call up Callen. Say, hey, you know that 25 grand a month I give you? Yeah, we're losing money. I can't pay you anymore. So you're going to keep showing up and do the podcast for free? Now, when you hear the hang up noise and silence, you'll get Callen's answer. Of course he's only doing it for money. No one likes you. You have to pay people to hang out with you. And even then, they still won't. You pay Chin 100 grand a year, and he refuses to hang out with you at your house in your off time. He doesn't like you. Nobody does. You're stupid. You're annoying. And I'm not exaggerating, people. Everybody hates him. Dads on his son's baseball teams record him at practice and in games and edit the footage to where make him look bad and then upload it to Reddit. That's how hated he is in real life. Like, as much as I hate Bappa, I'm sure on the practice field, he wasn't that terrible at baseball. But they edited a video to make him, like, ground ball going in between his legs. Only the bad, that's how hated he is. Nobody likes you. Why are you stunned? I got news for you. Dalia doesn't like you either. It's just Dalia and Montez, I guess, at least have somewhat of a stand-up career left, unlike Callen. I don't know. My God. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.